Hi, this is Dr. Brei with the Immaculate Heart of Mary Counseling Center, and I'm here to help close out the 2020 year with some ideas for next year. If one of your New Year's resolutions as a parent is to avoid yelling at the kids so much. And so this is brought on because one of the complaints that I hear the most, or concerns that I hear the most from parents coming in for whatever behavioral problem for their child, is that they, as parents, want to stop yelling so much. If I could just stop yelling, I think things would go better. But that's a really hard thing to do, right? Because kids just naturally do things that kind of can be triggering or irritating. That's part of their learning. But for us to be able to stay calm as parents, right? So this is the advice that I share with parents in abbreviated form. So first thing is to attend to your own physical needs. This is important, right? So I'm talking things like, are you getting enough sleep? Are you well rested as a parent? Are you hungry? Are you stressed out with work or relationships? So monitoring those stressors that are in your life. Sleep is a big one. That's not always completely in your control, but knowing if those things are affecting you can help you to maintain more of a calm because you're aware of the things that might be influencing your mood that day, so you can better control your reaction to them. So always attend to that first. Maybe have that kind of check-in be part of your New Year's resolution, right? To get to bed at night by a certain time, so that you're more likely to respond with the kind of response that you would like to your child's antics. The second one is I've written in capital letters because this is the single biggest thing that I think a lot of moms and dads have not heard. So avoiding multiple warnings. It actually decreases the effectiveness of your direction if you're giving more than one warning, because your child very naturally is going to learn, well, mom or dad doesn't actually mean it. They're not going to follow through until the 10th, 20th time. And that's what I'll hear from parents is, I've said it 20 times by then and I'm up to here. I'm enraged by that point. And of course, that's natural too as a parent. So avoid giving all those warnings. If you find yourself repeating the warnings over and over, then something probably needs to change and it would make things go a little bit better. Again, it's hard to do, but this would be the thing that I encourage you to keep in mind, to give one warning or no warnings and just follow through. It doesn't have to be harsh, but if you've given a direction, to say, okay, I'm going to follow through on this. You're going to be calmer if you do that than if you remind and remind and remind. With all of that too, monitoring your facial expression and your vocal tone is really important, because on the child's end, if they get those kind of threatening cues, which if we're yelling, then our voices are raised and our faces look threatening, their kind of reasoning ability goes out the window and they're going to be even less able to respond to you than if you maintain that neutral face. So it's almost like they go into fight or flight if you're yelling, and you can't really expect them to follow through in the way that they would if you just went and made sure that they were doing what you told them to do after the first time or after the first warning. And then the last thing is, I love this idea. I've heard it in multiple places about the image of a thermostat, a parent as the thermostat for the home. The child is a thermometer. You know, they go up and down with their emotions because they're not that great at regulating them at this point. And so they're gonna get big and then come back down and get big and come back down. As parents, imagining I'm gonna set the temperature for the house, like what the vocal level, the loudness that we permit in this household, I'm gonna be the example for that, because I have more ability to regulate myself than this child. So that's just a nice image to keep in mind. And of course, not forgetting the helpfulness of calling calling down some extra grace and saying, Lord, please help me remember to be a thermostat today, can also boost your success in this area. So hopefully that gives you some ideas about how to handle the new year if this is part of your resolution. And I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.